So from a compliance monitoring perspective, there are various tools that you have available to you. And generally with if that's not where your expertise lie, your business partners for the various software applications can assist you from that perspective as well. So when it comes to labor changes, your business partners, us as well, we make certain that our clients are informed of the various labor changes like employment equity that is changing, that has changed, and the requirements for employment equity has changed somewhat from a reporting perspective. You must be aware of that. The Department of Labor is not going to say it's okay that you weren't informed. There will be penalties should you not comply from that perspective. Same thing with regard to taxes, that, in some instances we say ignorance is bliss, not when it comes to tax. So it is very important that you have people that you partner with, which can assist you from a tax perspective. On that perspective, when it comes to bargaining councils, that you kept abreast of the changes that are happening from a bargaining council perspective as well. And you can designate people within your team to say that your job is also to make certain that from a compliance perspective on bargaining councils, that we always kept up to date. We do not want to find ourselves in a situation where we are potentially having to pay penalties, and in doing so, having to retrench workforce to cut costs. And when we retrench workforce to cut costs, that inevitably affects the services that we do provide. And if a client feels lesser than, that means it affects the revenue at the end of the day. So for compliance monitoring, make certain that you have the tools. A lot of the tools, especially cloud-based applications, the legislative side tends to be updated automatically if you are linked from a payroll and HR perspective. So if you're licensed for employment equity on your HR application, like say Trended People, for example, when the changes happen, you will receive an update for the tax, the employment equity reporting that is required to be submitted to the Department of Labor. When it comes to things like tax mid-year submissions, that any updates is done automatically in the background. And that's the important part of having the right tools in place. Because if you're doing it manually, there's a massive risk, because the dependency is on you as the organization to make certain that you are deducting the correct amount of tax. Because by law, it states that it is the company's responsibility to deduct the correct amount of tax, not the employees. So putting those tools in place, puts your organization, in the green, and it's important that you don't find yourself in the red because you decided to do some things a little bit more on the cheaper side of things.